change you. I'm going to say that again. The title does not change you. I'm a husband now, so that means I'm a good man. No, that just because you were in a title of husband, that don't mean you're a good man. Well, I have a son now. Now I'm a dad. That don't mean you're a good man. I have a daughter now. That means I'm a mama. That means I'm a good woman. That don't mean that. The title don't mean nothing. It's what you do. You can wear whatever title you want to wear. It's what you do. You got a badge and say you're a police officer. That's fine, but there's bad police officers. There's good ones and there's bad ones. There are some that don't need to be having a badge, and then there are some that are worthy of that. The title does not make you who you are. There are many people that say, I'm an apostle, I'm a prophet, I'm a this. I do not use that title. And I cringe every time somebody calls me by that title. My life speaks for who I am, not my title. I don't need that. Even last night when they introduced me to the people, they said, Pastor Dodd. I said, no, just Brother Donald. I don't need a title. My life will speak for me. My life will speak for me. Here, two names, same cycle. Same person, same issue. Same person, same issue. The name change and still the same cycle. That's why we can jump, we can shout, we can pray, we can cry, we can preach good messages, we can lay hands on the sick and they recover. Do all that and still have a cycle that needs to be broken. We can be the greatest of the orators and the best of the best and do the best of the best and sing, I'm a soldier. I sing them songs and still have a cycle that needs to be broken. Can read books and quote you books and write books and be a great author and paint Picasso paintings and not Picasso, excuse my Picasso paintings and all this stuff and be a Mozart and a great musician and all of things and orchestra, all these things, and still have cycles that are not good. Now God brings Abram. He was Abram, and now as Abraham, God brings him right back to the same thing again. Now he's Abraham now, the father of faith. Look at somebody say, the father of faith. And God brings him right back to the same identical thing again. And we get mad at God and say, why am I back here again? Because God says you haven't conquered it yet. That's why. You haven't got past it yet. That's why. Why I got to keep going through this until you pass. Until you've conquered it. But I've been at this for too many years now. That's fine. You still haven't learned your lesson yet. What I did, I thought I had it. That's what you thought you had it. But I look inside and I know where you are and where you're not. So you got to go back through again. There were years that were between these two times, and yet the same identical thing happens again. Tell her you my sister. He's older now. He's been around a lot longer. He's wiser. All these things, and still the same issues there. The same thing is there. God will allow us to repeat and repeat. I remember in the 70s they had a show called, it was one, the guy named Rerun was in it. What was it? Who was it? What's Happening? And they had Roger, they had Rerun, and they had Dwayne. And the reason why they called the one guy Rerun because he kept repeating the same grade over and over again. So they called him Rerun. And God would allow you to have a rerun experience until you pass that experience. Until I have graduated and I've learned, well, how do I graduate? Doing what God tells you to do. Letting God work it all out. Letting God drink. But I don't like that. It don't feel good. And I don't like going through that process. And I read this book and they said I don't have to do that. That's where that book has got you in the cycle. Let's pick up the book. This book. And see what this book has to say. Not those books. Somebody can say amen. It's important. God speaks as El Shaddai, which means Almighty God, in chapter 12. And he says to Abram at that time, he calls him Abram because at that time his name had not been changed to Abraham. He speaks to him as Abram and he develops into Abraham. And as he develops into Abraham, the blessing develops with him. But guess what? The cycle also develops with him. See, the cycle grows with you as you grow. until it's been removed. Once it's been removed and you conquered it, then it's no longer there. But it grows with you as you grow. As you get blessed, it gets blessed. As you move, it moves. That's why you can totally remove yourself from one geographical location to an entirely different place to the other side of the country and still have the same cycle. I picked up, I changed, I got a new job, I got a new career, I got a new house, I got a new car, I got a new family, I got a new this, I got a new that, and yet and still, 10 years later, here I am again, right back at it again. The faith was developed with him, but the cycle was also developed along with him. The cycle, even as the person goes, that's why we can be blessed and we can do all these things and be anointed and still have an issue that still even have a little problem with telling the truth. Even though we're anointed and God uses us, to still have a problem telling the truth. Because the cycle grows with you. Cancer grows with the person. It's a life that takes life from life. As long as the person is living, it thrives off that person's life. So as long as that person is living, it lives. Once that person is deceased, then it dies. But it lives with that person. Cycles live with the person. As long as the person keeps the cycle going and they keep repeating it and we keep doing it and we keep going through it and we keep learning and we keep experiencing the same thing and making the same decision. Every time we get to the fork in the road, we go left, and God has been teaching us to go right. And every time we still go left anyways, it grows with us. It never changes until we decide, I'm going to go right this time. I went to see the movie, Sister Smith and I went to see the movie Harriet, and good movie. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm not an expert in African American history, so I don't know. So Cluckley's got a degree, you have to tell me. But she would have these visions of what she was, according to the movie. Now, I don't know if that's factual or not. I don't know if that's Hollywood. I don't know that part. But in the movie, she would have these visions. And every time she was leading the people, and she was about to go across the bridge, lead the people across the bridge. And then she stopped dead in her tracks, and she had a vision that the people was waiting on the bridge with guns to kill them. And so she said, we can't go this way. We got to go left. Now, she went over the bridge the other times. The other times, that's the way she went. But this particular time, because that was the cycle, to go that way, this particular time, she was stopped right in her tracks. Now, again, I don't know if Hollywood put that in there. Someone have to educate me on that. I don't know. I'm not sure. But they made it look like it was God telling her these things. So I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't know. And she'd had this vision, and she said, we need to go left. And they went left, and they all made it. Well, God oftentimes brings us to a fork in the road, the same fork, and it says, you need to go left, and we go right. Because the cycle is there. This is the way I've always done it. How many times have you said it to yourself, this is the way I always have done this? Think about that for a moment.